Hi, I'm Jerry Brainum, and I'm going to answer a question today that I'm frequently asked. And the question is simply this: if I was limited to taking only 3 food supplements, which 3 food supplements would I take? Before I answer the question, I'm going to assume that somebody who's asking me this is involved in weight training, because the answer would not be the same for somebody who is not involved in regular habitual weight training. So my answer again is directly applied to those involved in habitual weight training. Here's the answer. If I could take only 3 food supplements, limited to 3 food supplements, I couldn't take any more than these 3, what would the 3 be? I'll answer that in the next video. No, I'm just kidding. The answer to that, the 3 supplements I would take are, the first one would be a vitamin mineral supplement. And here's my rationale. There's been some recent studies in medical journals which literally made me puke, where these doctors, who, by the way, are not trained in nutrition. When you go to medical school, their courses in nutrition are not mandatory, and because of the heavy workload of medical students, most of them opt not to study nutrition. What they learn are to recognize nutritional deficiency diseases, but they know nothing about nutritional supplements. They know nothing about how they work, and so on and so forth. So a doctor is not your best source. A physician, I should say, is not your best source of nutritional information. In fact, most people on the street know more about it than most physicians. So that's unless the physician has studied himself or taken extra training. I should add that. I'm not saying all physicians know nothing about nutrition. That'd be a kind of a ridiculous statement. Now, but they write that their reasoning about telling people not to take vitamin minerals is that you can get all your nutrients in a balanced diet. The problem with that is the balanced diet, if you look at the definition, involves eating foods from all the major food groups, such as dairy, fruits and vegetables, meats, fish, eggs, so forth, fibrous sources and that type of thing. The truth is that most people, regardless of what they think, do not eat a balanced diet. And a lot of people don't want to drink milk. They don't want to eat cheese. There goes the whole dairy group. A lot of people don't like to eat enough fruits and vegetables. To get the optimal amount of nutrition in fruits and vegetables, you'd have to eat 11 servings a day with 5 minimal. But to get the optimal amount of nutrition requires 11 servings. And I could count on the fingers of one hand people I've met, other than vegetarians, who consume 11 servings a day of fruits and vegetables. So now what does this all mean? This means that if you don't eat a balanced diet, as the doctors suggest you do, you will be probably deficient in certain vitamins and minerals. And if you don't take a vitamin mineral, it's going to catch up with you and you're going to get some serious problems. Not only that, but there are certain vitamins and minerals that are very difficult to get from food sources alone. For example, vitamin D. Unless you go in the sun and expose most of your upper body to ultraviolet rays, I should say, where the sun has to be at a certain position in the sky for 15 to 20 minutes, you're not going to get vitamin D. It's very hard to get out of food. It's found in food, but you'd have to eat a ton of it to get the amount of vitamin D that's found to be health protective and to bring your vitamin D blood levels up to the optimal amount. It's nearly impossible to do from food alone. So if you're not taking a vitamin D supplement, you are like the other 90% of the people in the world who are outright deficient in vitamin D. Magnesium is another mineral. 80% of people are lacking in magnesium. Where is it found? Vegetables, nuts, fruits. If you're not eating these foods, you're probably going to be deficient in magnesium. Magnesium activates over 300 enzymes in the body. It's very involved in ATP storage, which is your basic source of energy. It's involved in protein assimilation, amino acid uptake. If you're blood pressure control, if you're not ingesting magnesium, you're going to be in big trouble eventually. Big trouble. You're going to probably get some form of heart disease. So, why not take a vitamin mineral? It's not that expensive, and it gives you insurance. So, ignore the idiot doctors that say that vitamin mineral supplements are useless. I mean, these are guys that are highly educated but are still morons. Let me put it that way. The next supplement that I would take, if I only had to take 3 supplements, would undoubtedly be creatine. I've talked about creatine in many other videos. Suffice to say, it works for 80% of users. When you take creatine supplements, your muscle content of creatine increases by 15 to 40% above baseline. Creatine does a number of things. It's probably the most effective single sport supplement. I would not suggest a creatine load, because after 2 days on a creatine load involves taking about 5 grams or a teaspoon of creatine five times a day for 5 to 6 days a week. However, after the first 2 days, over 50% of the ingested creatine is excreted out. It's a waste of time and a waste of money. What I suggest, if you can take a creatine supplement, use creatine monohydrate. Forget all the other forms. They're just exotic bullshit. They're not any more effective than creatine monohydrate. Take 1 teaspoon a day. At the end of 30 days, your muscles will be loaded with creatine. The third supplement I would take, if I only had a choice of 3, would be fish oil. It's especially true in my case because I'm not a fish eater. I don't like fish. In fact, I detest it. I share that tendency with former Mr. Olympia Lee Haney, who, when I questioned him in an interview if he eats fish before a contest, he made a face and he told me that fish makes him sick to his stomach. I wouldn't go so far as to say the same for me, but I just don't like the taste of fish. And if you don't eat fish, you're not going to get what they call the preformed omega-3 fatty acids, which are EPA and DHEA. They're essential fatty acids. They're very important. And an upcoming issue of my Applied Metabolics newsletter, I'm going to have a whole bunch of new information about how the omega-3 fatty acids affect factors such as muscle soreness, muscle hypertrophy, and to help to prevent muscle protein breakdown and help to increase insulin sensitivity. All of this will be in upcoming issues of my Applied Metabolics newsletter. I'm going to go into detail. If you eat fatty fish, such as mackerel, halibut, sardines, salmon, if you eat these type of fish at least 2 to 3 times a week, you probably don't need a fish oil supplement. But if you don't, you got to be nuts not to take a fish oil supplement. It's extremely important, very good for your health. Don't believe all the stuff about superior forms of fish oil. I can tell you that recent studies show that basic fish oil, which is actually called, the technical term, or the triglyceride form of fish oil, that's usually the kind found in food supplements, is just as good as the supplements, the so-called, what do they call them? I forget, metabolically pure, whatever they call them. Pharmaceutical forms, which is a meaningless term. Pharmaceutical fish oil is a bullshit marketing term that is just nonsensical. So, use a good brand of fish oil. Don't go for the cheapy brands. And the reason I suggest that is the cheapy brands tend to be, sometimes they get oxidized. The oxidized fish oil is probably not going to hurt you as much as some people try and say online. They're exaggerating, but it's still not the best form to take. Once you take a fish oil supplement, when you open the bottle, keep it in your refrigerator so it doesn't get oxidized. So that answers the question. There's many other supplements that I think are great. There's many other supplements that I think are absolute crap, which I talk about in my newsletter. And if you read it, you will save money and a lot of heartache over the fact that you wasted so much money on some of these rather expensive but useless supplements. Read all about it in my Applied Metabolics newsletter, www.appliedmetabolics.com. I cover nutrition, exercise science, anti-aging, fat loss, research, hormonal therapy, and other subjects. 33 cents a day, no ads, no bullshit, 40 to 50 pages, much more than a newsletter. Subscribe today. Also, you want a good friend, go to an animal shelter, adopt a dog. The best friends you could ever have. Some of your friends will screw you. Your wife might leave you. Your girlfriend will cheat on you. Your dog will always be loyal to the day it or you dies. Trust me. Take care.
Back then, that's what they called them, topless dancer. Now they're strippers, go-go dancers, stripper. Now they're strippers. But anyway, and I could not get this. I could not get a hard on for nothing. I mean, and she's like, why are you not relaxed? I said, I don't know. I keep getting McDonald's is running through my head. And she's like, McDonald's. So the next time we fooled around, I said, I'm not going to think about McDonald's. I'm not going to think about McDonald's. I'm not going to think about McDonald's.